Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Briefmatic is a team task management tool. And today I'm going to give you a very quick demo of how to get it up and running and explore the product, see if it's the right fit for you and or for your team or your business. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've gone to the website, clicked start a trial. So it's going to ask me to connect, authenticate. I'm going to do that using my Google account. You can also do it with a Microsoft account. First things first, to get it up and running, just complete the sign in process. Let's set demo. Could add a description or a due date here, obviously, as part of the sign up, and connection process to demonstrate how the product works. We are going to connect to Google Drive. It's going to ask me for permission. Once I've given that, in the background, it's going to go off and find all the work that has been assigned to my Google Drive account. I'm also going to connect to Google Calendar. That way we can show you how to schedule tasks into your day to make sure you've got the time to work on them. So just complete that. As it did with the Google Drives, now I'm going to go off in the background and look at my scheduler and bring that into Briefmatic. Done that now, so I'm going to click continue. And here we are inside Briefmatic. We've landed on the task list. And now I'm going to give you a quick run through of the menu options over here on the left hand side. Fairly self-explanatory, but obviously tasks is the tab that shows me all the work that I have on my plate. I can look at that in a list, or if you're a Kanban person, you can jump over to the board. We also have the scheduler, where I can book work or book tasks into my day or my week, and I can make sure that I've got the time to do the work. Notes is just a simple notes page where you can create new notes. Great for people who like to keep a track of thoughts and ideas while going about their day. Teams view is where I can view work that is that I've assigned or shared with others across the team, and it'll show me the status of those items. And finally, on the connections tab here, we can see the list of apps that Briefmatic is available to connect to. You can see it's just syncing through the Google Drive, Google Calendar at the moment. There are also a number of other options, including Briefmatic, Inbox, Chrome, Figma, Jira, Slack, WhatsApp, and a bunch of others. And you can click on each of the connect cards, follow the prompts to get up and running. It's got a brief description of what each of those connections enables. Essentially, it allows work that has been assigned to you through those apps to appear in your task list in Briefmatic. So you'll see that in the background, that sync has gone off and found any items that were outstanding. If I had connected to Gmail as an example, it would have gone and found all the starred emails in my inbox and imported those into Briefmatic. So now we have work that's been assigned to me. Also have items that I've created manually inside Briefmatic. I'll give you a quick run through of how these items work. But before I do that, I'm just going to talk about workspaces. So in Briefmatic, you can have a bunch of different workspaces. You have your primary here, which is all the work that has been assigned to me that I'm managing as part of my own to-do list, but I can also create additional workspaces within the organization. These are typically used to manage small projects or pieces of work, client deliverables, basically anything that any outcome that I want to work on collaboratively with other people inside or outside the business. So let's create a workspace here for client project. So basically it's going to create a blank slate here, and before I go creating additional tasks inside, I know that this is a board I want to share with someone else. Let's just get that in there. And I want to set the permissions level. I want this person to be able to not just view the items on the board, but actually create and manage them. So I'm going to give them administrator access. Now it's going to go off and send that person an invite for them to join this workspace so they can collaborate with me here. Basically, it allows me to build a bunch of tasks here. I could add description for the detail, but for today's demo, I'll just create the task to show you how it works. So essentially, add all the items in here on the task list inside the shared workspace that both myself and anyone else I've shared this workspace with can view those items and manage them accordingly. Whether you're on a list or a board, they can drag and drop, move them around. So it's great for smaller pieces of work that you're working with others on that you don't want or need a complex project management software for. You don't need a Gantt chart or timelines or dependencies or all those things. You just have a bunch of work that people essentially work on autonomously, but each of the items is part of a wider piece of work. Workspace is a great way to do that. And then once you're done, you can just delete it. So that's workspaces. Now, if I jump back to my primary workspace here, you can see that I'm on let's jump to the list view. So you can manage items, prioritize them by dragging them around, moving them top to bottom. You can also sort and filter based on each of these items. If you want to run a discrete lists depending on the status of that work, you can see we've got a number of statuses along here. You can move items to various different stages depending on whether or not you want to just run one big list or smaller lists. And if you jump over to the Kanban board, I'm a Kanban board type of person, so I find this a lot easier to do it this way. You can see here I can move items left to right. I can also create custom statuses. If I have a workflow inside my particular organization where there's a number of stages that items work through, and if I'm part of that process, I can set these statuses up any way that I want so that it aligns with how work either moves across my plate or through the organization, which can be super handy if you're a multi-role person who's across lots of different things, and making sure that you get your work done, but also that work is moving in the way that it needs to across your organization. So basically, that's a quick overview of the list and the board view. Now we're just going to talk through tasks in a bit more detail. So if I just open just before I do that, so there's two ways to get new tasks inside Briefmatic. Either they can come in because they've been assigned to you, or you've tagged them in Gmail or a Slack message or Google Doc, whatever it might be, or I can create tasks inside Briefmatic, and I can do that using the quick add view here, or I can come down here and do it here where I can add more details if I need to remind myself just what I wanted to achieve with this task. Oh, I didn't click create. Nice one. And I didn't spell that right. So cool. That's how you get new tasks inside Briefmatic. So now that we've actually got a piece of work in here, you can see there's something that's been assigned to me in a Google Doc. It's brought in the title of the doc. Obviously, it's assigned to me. But if it's a piece of work that I feel like I need someone else to take a look at it, I can assign this work to someone else. It will check whether or not they're an existing Briefmatic user, and if they are, it'll add it to their task list, and if they aren't, it'll send them an email inviting them to have a look at a task that you've assigned to them in Briefmatic. So let's assign this piece of work to someone else. You can add a further description here. As you can see, there's comments down here, which are kind of like Slack, except inside Briefmatic and related to the specific piece of work. So you can just kind of chat with people about the task, and it keeps obviously the running commentary, so you've got that information there. You know, due date if you need to. Just these items up here, I'll go from right to left. So if you dismiss a task, it will remove it from Briefmatic, but it won't touch the item in the source document. So if it's been sent to you, someone's assigned it to you in a Google Doc, if you dismiss it, it'll take it out of Briefmatic, but it won't take it out of the Google Doc. On the other hand, if you mark the task as complete, it will move it to done in Briefmatic, and it will mark the task as complete in the Google Doc, which is a great way of keeping people up to date on where the work is at, and also kind of managing your own list. And finally, and probably more importantly, for those of you who struggle to kick off pieces of work, Smart Action is a great AI tool to have a quick look at a task, and then it'll break it down and give you a summary of how you might progress this piece of work. If it thinks you need to send draft an email update as an example, it will create a draft. To break the work down into stages if it thinks that's more useful. It's just a really quick and easy way to tackle a piece of work, get it started, get things underway. So I've clicked Smart Action, it's had a look at it, decided there's a bunch of things I need to do for this piece of work, and ultimately sent an email, and it's drafted that email for me. I can tick or untick any of these items depending on whether or not I think they're relevant. In this example, I'm going to leave them all in. I'm going to add 3 steps, and it's just going to add those to the description of the document. So it keeps me focused on what I get done. And like I say, if it thinks it needs a email or a Slack post or something, it'll draft that for me, so I can just cut and paste it into wherever I need to. So that's a quick overview of the task. As I mentioned, I've assigned it to someone else. Now it's ready to go. So I'll click send. It's now sent that task over to them. And if I jump down here to the Teams board, this is where I get to see work that I've assigned to the people and the status of that work based on how the person that I've assigned it to, based on their status. So I've only got one piece of work in here at the moment. That's the one I just assigned to Rob. And again, I can go with the list or board view. If as Rob works on this item and moves it from to do to doing a done, it'll obviously move left to right, and I won't have to go chasing him to see what status of the work is. He can also add comments as he's working on it to keep me up to date without actually sending me a message or an email. He can just keep running commentary. He can ask me questions. I'll see those as they come through. So super helpful if you're sitting across a workflow. Part of your job is to move work around the organization, so you can do it in Briefmatic. They'll pick it up, manage it. Then you can spend less time chasing updates or seeing where work is at, and more time focusing on your own things. Just quickly touch on the scheduler. As you can see here, I didn't have any items in my calendar, but I've got all the work that I have in my to-do list here ready to be scheduled. If I'm the kind of person who likes to block time out for tasks, I can just simply drag and drop, and it'll block that time in my calendar, and I'll obviously get a notification as those items come up. And again, it's a good way if you have important work that you want to make sure you get to, and you're someone who likes to block that time out in your scheduler, and you can just move it around and do whatever you need to keep it up to date. You can also add a task here. You can view the task details. One thing I didn't touch on before, but instead of manually finding slots in your calendar, if it's an important thing, you can just click on Smart Assist here, and it will go and book the next available slot in your diary. So you don't even have to think about it, and just do what your scheduler says as those items come up. We touched on the notes page, fairly basic notes tab. We're actually releasing an AI notes feature in a few weeks, hopefully, that is, transcribes meetings, takes, assigns work, does all that kind of cool stuff. So that'll be really helpful if you spend time in meetings with clients or people on the team. Teams, as I talked about, this is where I can view work that I've shared across the business. And finally, connections, I mentioned. If you basically come here to connect to the apps that you use every day at work, so that you can get a picture of all the work that you have on your plate inside Briefmatic. Just follow the prompts, click on connect. Each one has a brief description of what it will do. With the exception of the calendars, you can connect multiple accounts. So if you have different email profiles, those sorts of things, you can connect and bring those tasks all together in one place. So that's kind of a snapshot of the key features or functions of Briefmatic. Hopefully, if you're thinking about getting started, that's given you a broad overview. Just finally, if account settings, if you've set up a trial account and realize Briefmatic isn't for you, you can go to account settings and click on delete account, and that will remove your account and any and all data from our systems. But if you do want to stick with it, come to account settings. It's a great way to set up, personalize your Briefmatic setup, things like your date profile, your working days, time of day. You can flick between dark and light mode. Basically personalize Briefmatic a little bit more. So thank you for listening in. Hopefully you've learned something. If you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.